Hello, the laser lipo revolution is here. How would you like to lie on your back for 30 minutes, 3 times per week for 3 weeks and lose 1 to 5 inches of girth without any strict calorie reduction or excessive exercise? What seemed to be a myth and out of reach for most Americans has now become a reality in the form of today's FDA-cleared and FDA-approved technology called low-level laser or red light lipo machines. My name is Dr. Rissacker, and I'm the owner, doctor, and client of the Slim Body Laser Spa located here in Stuart, Florida. There is no need to subject yourself to the risks associated with surgical interventions like liposuction, abdominoplasty or tummy tucks, or even the use of thermal energy such as fat freezing or hot lasers anymore. The future of spot fat reduction, laser body sculpting, and laser-assisted weight loss are the low-level, FDA-cleared laser technology. When applied to the subcutaneous fatty layer, low-level laser will produce predictable, consistent, lasting, sustainable inch loss reduction without downtime, without rigid food discipline, or strenuous exercise as is so common with other weight loss and body sculpting procedures. Areas like your belly, called your muffin tops, or your back fat, bra bulges, thighs, chin, arms, anywhere that you have an accumulation of subcutaneous fat deposits, the laser lipo can help reduce those safely in only 9 sessions in 3 weeks. With proper client selection, results can almost be guaranteed by following a few simple rules. So here's rule number 1. Be consistent on your laser sessions. The recommendation is 3 times per week for 3 weeks. It's suggested that for every day you do the laser, you skip a day. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. You can do 2 days in a row, but it's not good to do 3 days in a row. That's because the laser is being applied to this stored fat, these calories in your subcutaneous tissue. It releases 40 to 60 grams of free fatty acid, which is equal to 400 to 600 calories. Those calories have to be brought into the system and burned as energy so you can reduce the size and not store the fat somewhere else. Now the surgeon will take a stick and suck it out and put it in a jar next to you, those extra calories. We don't do that. We don't destroy tissue here. The laser simply forms microscopic pores form on the fatty cell membrane, on the fat cells. The fatty acid is released, 400 to 600 calories released in about 30 minutes, and then those calories have to be brought out of the body. So that brings us to number 2, and that would be, it's imperative that you use whole body vibration following the laser session. Now the whole body vibration plate is a wonderful device. It's an exercise machine that you stand on, no sweating, no perspiring. It's not strenuous. You just stand on, and what it does is it moves. And as it moves, it's circulating those fatty acid calories that the laser releases. It's dumping them into the system in a very safe way, and then the body consumes those calories as energy over the next 2 to 4 hours following the laser treatment. So that brings me to number 3 rule. You don't eat food 2 hours before the laser or 2 hours after the laser. Okay? Because when you come in to do the laser treatment, your body's going to release those fatty acid calories, and whole body vibration is going to put them into the circulation. You have to be hungry or be able to burn that energy to efficiently get rid of it quickly. The best analogy I can use would be that of a garage. Suppose you had some stored calories in your garage for the emergency, for the hurricanes. Smart thing to do. And you've got your food at home, which is in your visceral, in your kitchen. So every day you go to the kitchen to eat. That's very common. But you've been storing food in the garage for a while for the hurricane. One of the kids, neighborhood kids, comes over and he wants to put his bicycle in the garage. Sure, you have no problem with that. So you go out to the garage, you open up the door, and it's filled with food. I mean, the food is right up to the door. There's no room for the bicycle. So you look at the kid, you're like, well, I'm embarrassed. get the trash can, let's throw some of this food out, we'll put your bike in here today. So he's great. So he goes over, he brings the trash can, and you get on your hands and knees and you start pulling on that food, and you're like, oh my God, it's stuck to the floor. I can't get it out. It's part of the floor. Now, unless you came with a hammer and a chisel and chiseled it out, which is what the liposuction doctor does, those calories you don't give them up. Your body doesn't give them up. They got to be burned as energy. And so you look at the kid and you say, I don't know what to tell you. I can't get the food out of the garage. And he looks at you and he goes, Mister, he says, you got to eat the food in the garage. You're like, excuse me, son? He goes, you got to eat the food in the garage. You've been buying food for the kitchen and buying food for the garage. You've never stopped eating in the kitchen to eat the food from the garage. It won't go away unless you eat it. It's true. Now, your body won't go for that calories in the garage until the food in the kitchen runs out. That's one of the problems. There's two compartments, subcutaneous and visceral. So that subcutaneous compartment is really a spillover. It's an emergency calorie storage area that your body's only going to use when it runs out of the visceral fat. Now this is much more prevalent in your 50s and 60s, by the way. So you look at him and you're like, well son, I don't want to eat that. It's canned food. It's been there. I can't eat it every day. He's like, how about if we just have it for lunch? One day, 3 days a week for 3 weeks, we're going to have lunch from the garage. And he's going to help you. Now, the laser allows us to do that, by the way. Your body couldn't do it normally. So you're like, okay, I can do lunch 3 days a week. So Monday comes over, he goes into the garage, he takes 400 to 600 calories and puts it on a tray, comes walking through into the kitchen, puts it on the table, you come home, and you're hungry, and you eat the food. It goes up into the air as energy, it's not restored somewhere else. Now, the laser releases 400 to 600 calories in that 30 minutes. That's what he puts on the tray. And him walking the food from the garage into the kitchen where you eat food is what the whole body vibration plate does. It simply moves those calories from the outer space into the visceral system where you burn it as energy. It does it very efficiently. If you were to wait for the body to bring those calories in naturally, it would take maybe 1, 2, 3 days. And by then, you'll have eaten 6 times in between that. That fat will be stored back in somewhere else in the body. And we don't want that. So it's important that you don't eat food before you have lunch. And this is why we say no food 2 hours before the laser, no food 2 hours after the laser. So in essence, you're kind of eating lunch from your stored fat on Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 3 weeks. And then for breakfast and for dinner, you're having a normal meal at home. That's really a very simplified way of how it works. But that's really what we're doing. We're using a laser to release calories in a spot that you can't target with diet and exercise without a lot of work and discipline, as most people understand that. And once those calories are released, you haven't eaten for 2 hours. When they show up into the visceral system, you burn them as energy and they disappear. Each time you do the laser treatment, most people will lose a ½ inch measured in 3 spots. A ½ inch, across the belly, ½ inch on the leg, ¼ inch on the arms, each time they do the treatment. 6 to 9 sessions, that's how you get the 6 to 9 inches. Okay? So, what's the next one? Number 4, eat light during the entire 3 weeks. Now, it's important to exercise after the laser if you can. Not strenuous, walking, just be active. It's not time to go to the buffet king, okay? It's time to eat less right afterwards because you got to burn those calories. So it's important to eat light. Overeating in any weight loss or lipo procedure will cause bad results. So please don't do that. Avoid empty calories. We don't want you not to eat, we want you to eat. You need to eat breakfast, you get lunch from the laser, and then you have dinner at home. So those calories should be avoiding empty calories. And these are calories that have no nutritional value. They're calories that were put on this earth to make you fat. And 30,000 years ago, that was a critically important thing because we live in a food scarce environment. And for the most part, your ancestors went weeks and weeks, maybe even months without getting any food at all. So their ability to make fat was key to survival. So empty calories make fat. What are empty calories? Soft drinks, alcohol, candy, ice cream, cakes, cookies, bagels, bread products, fruit high in sugar, potatoes, rice, starchy foods. There's minimal nutrients in these foods. They really are there to make fat. That's why we're so fat as a country, because we love our carbohydrates. Protein is your friend with weight loss. Remember that, okay? So these suggestions are by no means the only rules to ensure better results. People are varied and different, as they should be. Some need more help with food, others don't need any help with food. Some have scheduling issues, and others have lots of time to schedule and focus on their health. Some have medical considerations and need modifications to their laser plan, and others do not. Regardless of your particular differences or special needs, we have managed to achieve a greater than 95% client satisfaction as surveyed by our staff at the end of 9-session program. My name is Dr. Tread Rissacker, and I personally interview and perform all consultations myself to ensure that you have the most qualified person who understands the laser lipo procedure, who will listen to your needs, who will perform a proper medical history, and give my best possible recommendation of what you might need to achieve the goals you desire to achieve. I can be reached on my website, slimbodylaserspa.com, Facebook page, or even call the phone 772-223-5885. Thank you very much from Dr. Tread's Slim Body Laser Spa.